Hello, this is Nat Zimmer, and you're listening to the PSFL podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about our predictions for the NFC in our first season. With me today is Zach, and he's going to explain a little bit about his NFC predictions before we get into it.
Yeah, so I've put in a little bit of time on the predictions here. I don't know if you've seen the AFC podcast or not, but just in case this is your first viewing, I'll kind of go over the predictions. The screen you're looking at right now, it's you can see my predictions on the left there for each team in the NFC, and then next to that is Nat Zimmer's predictions. And then we also have rankings for overall team ranking based on my predictions, offensive rankings and defensive rankings, and we'll get into the team specific rankings on the next page. But we also have, for those of you that were able to take a little bit of time and do the questionnaire that was sent out, we also have league predictions for each division on the right side there. Looks like all the NFC divisions were pretty heavy for one team, so that's interesting. But I guess what are your thoughts on the NFC?
Well, I don't think the NFC has quite the same level of depth as the AFC did, which is probably why the predictions look a little lopsided. I think we have some pretty interesting bet player GMs in the NFC that I'm excited to see how they approach the league. I'm really curious to see what Yeti does. I hate that I'm in the same division as Stewart. But on a team level, there's lots of fun. Toasty is there too, so it should be fun to see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully, Stewart's gonna give you trouble, but maybe he'll delay it a couple of years while he deals with that Lions rebuild. But yeah, the NFC definitely looks a tad weaker overall in the AFC, but there's still some really good teams over in the NFC. I think when I was looking at my predictions, I think I may have had like an 8-win team get at the last playoff spot, which kind of tells you maybe all you need to know about this division. I don't really think there's a single team that is out of the playoff picture, because I think there could be an 8-win type team that gets that last playoff spot. If you want to, you can go ahead and wait. If you have any other thoughts, or we can jump over to the NFC East.
Yeah, let's get talking about these Cowboys.
Yeah, so NFC East, before we jump into the Cowboys, kind of high level, I think we had pretty similar. We both had Cowboys. The league prediction questionnaire had Cowboys. Really, the only difference is you're a little higher on the Giants, but other than that, I think we kind of agree at a high level on the division. We can go ahead and jump over to the Cowboys. And again, if you already watched the AFC one, you might be a little bit of a repeat, but this is a team page preview, which we'll send out here in a little bit. But at the top is all offensive, defensive stats from last year. So obviously, it was simmed, a lot of AI stuff going on there. So not as important this year, but next year's preview will probably be a lot more relevant to looking at how the teams stacked up and rankings from prior year. Next to that, at the top, you have departures and additions from personnel standpoint, and the bottom is the actual rankings. You already saw the offensive, defense, and team rankings on the last page, but this kind of dives down by position group, and you even have other grades at the bottom. So pass grades, which is basically taking only pass-related skills into account. Run grades for offense. You can see O-line size, strength, wide receiver athleticism, just some random stuff just for fun. Kind of defensive size, strength grades, how fast the defense is, how strong the defense is, those type of things. But let's go ahead and talk about some Cowboys. We're both pretty high on them. What are your thoughts?
I think they have probably the second best roster after the Titans, maybe in the league. Dak Prescott looks ridiculous. It's just crazy from there. He has so many tags. I don't know how much these tags matter. We're going to find out. But if they do matter, Prescott's probably the MVP, dual threat, locker room leader, high aptitude, fan favorite. So popular guy, I guess.
Well, he won a Super Bowl, so I can't get more popular than a Dallas Cowboy quarterback winning a Super Bowl. That's about as good as it's going to get. I'm sure he's going to be in the booth here soon next to Tony Romo. But from the roster standpoint, I don't really need to explain it. They're third and eighth, which those two combined, I mean, that has to be up there with the top 3 roster easily. Predicted 13 wins, which up there with the Titans and the AFC. So yeah, I mean, we can. I don't think they really have any holes. The D line, they lost to Marcus Lawrence in free agency, which I was going after him. So that would have been a big get for the Cowboys to bring him back. So a little bit of a hole there, but other than that, I don't really see any question marks on really either side of the ball. Obviously, they have a ton of playmakers on offense. I see some stuff here.
Yeah, no, we were just talking about the AFC, and there were some teams that had really suspect running back rooms. So I'd like to point out that the Cowboys, not only their second string, but their third string running back would be a starter on a lot of teams in this league right now.
This guy?
Yeah,
he looks pretty good. I don't think he's going to get any carries with that Tony Pollard and Elliott combo. Man, I really thought Elliott was older than 27. I feel like he's been around forever. He looks really good. 70 strength, 85 speed. Yeah, I mean they're gonna be so dangerous on offense. I mean Prescott and these wide receivers are just CeeDee Lamb and Gallup are gonna be really good.
Yeah, it's a scary team. If they don't make the playoffs, something has gone very, very wrong.
Yeah, I mean the only really hope I think is just they had the first round pick in Melvin. I think he's a good project, but these DNs are pretty weak compared to the league. I mean they're good young players. I think they'll be fine in the future, but a little bit to be desired there at the defensive end spot. But if they're winning, if they win like we think they will, they can probably go add someone there.
But look at their linebackers.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
I mean, Van Der Esch is a 67 position skill at DE. I mean, you could slot him in there. Yeah,
I mean, good point. It's one of those things that's hard to, from a position grade standpoint, it's hard to factor in how guys move around, but that's going to be an easy guy to move. He's basically 260 pounds, so he should be. I would fully expect him to get some time at the end.
I mean, you should pull up Micah Parsons for a second.
No, I don't even want to look at him. I know he's insane.
No, well, not only is he insane, but he also has the speed rusher tag.
Yeah, he's more of a DN.
I mean, so they have DNs.
You're right.
Small DNs.
Yeah.
And they have gadget players on defense. I mean, they have.
They probably, if they play Parsons and Van Der Esch at DN, they're going to be a little weak at linebacker. But I'm sure they can figure it out, though.
They can move them around.
Yeah.
Kind of more my point.
Yeah, they look really good. So I don't really. We'll get into the other teams in the NFC. NFC East, and I don't really see. You're pretty big. We can go ahead and talk about the Giants, see if they can compete. I was pretty low on their offense. It's pretty much as low as you can get with their receivers and O-line. I don't know how they're going to compete with Dallas, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was high on the Giants, and I didn't factor this in for most teams all that much, but Vin is a great GM, and he has a history of making subpar quarterbacks work out pretty well for him. And I think that he'll find a way to, maybe not be a stellar team this year, but I think that he'll get some wins under his belt.
Yeah, Daniel Jones ranks, just from a pure ranking standpoint, he ranks as one of the bottom 10 quarterbacks probably. But I think he's not bad at any one thing. I think you can definitely win games with him. So I don't think that's going to be a big concern. This roster's not terrible. They're just, I think they're kind of a 500 at best roster. I just don't see how they're going to compete with the Dallas, but anything can happen.
Yeah, I don't think they'll compete with Dallas, unfortunately, but I think that they'll do pretty well for themselves and get a wild card spot possibly.
Yeah, I had them at 6-11. I think you had them 10-7. So yeah, you definitely had them at a wild card spot for sure. A little short on my end, but we'll see. Then you got Washington again, kind of another quarterback needy team in this division. It's going to be a tough one. some good quarterbacks in the NFC. Carson Wentz, yeah. I mean, he's kind of one of those quarterbacks again, kind of like Giants. You can win with him if you have the right playbook and kind of the right tools around him, but definitely a little bit to be desired there.
Yeah, the questionable quarterbacks, and I think the thing is, if the GM has proven they can do it before, maybe you think they'll do it again. But if you haven't seen that, it's really hard to do.
Yeah, and they have a really good D line, but their quarterback running back is not good. Antonio Gibson's just no strength, small running, not really small, but no strength. And then they have one of the best D lines in the NFC though, with Montez Sweat and Chase Young, both under 25 or 25 and under, and both 90 plus overall. And Deron Payne I was looking at him earlier. He's one of the more interesting D tackles with 68 speed, 91 strength, and 319 pounds. He might be, he's probably 2 training camps away from being one of the rare 90 strength, 70 speed guys in the league. I think there's only a handful. One of them being the Rams. Drawing a blank on his name, but
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald. Yeah, so they have just an insane D line, but I don't know if that's going to be enough as far as their roster balance on offense.
They have a good defense. I don't think that's going to be their issue.
No, they have top 14th ranked defense, which based on their predicted records, not bad at all. Just I wasn't a big fan of their cornerbacks, but they're not too bad.
See, I don't think they're actually all that bad.
Yeah, they're not bad. I gave them a C minus, which just for reference, my grading again, C plus is average. That's like middle of the pack out of the 32 teams. So there's nothing wrong with the C grade. It's just kind of
I like Jimmy Moreland as a third guy quite a bit.
But I think they're kind of just, if they can get enough out of offense, I think they can probably get a wild card spot. That trend of the NFC again is just going to be, I think that last wild card spot's anybody's. But I don't know if they're going to have enough on quarterback. And last spot again, kind of the Eagles. Kind of the trend in this division is, this team kind of like Washington has a pretty good defense, but I just don't know if they're going to. I feel bad because I wish running quarterbacks were better in this game, but Jalen Hurts, I just don't think he's going to get it done. 70 accuracy, that's going to be rough.
It sucks to have that 32 overall rank, and most of the time you can make an argument about it, but I think this is probably the worst offense in the league on roster talent.
If running quarterbacks was more consistent of a weapon and something defenses I really had a game plan around, it's totally different offense. But yeah, it's not a lot of that's going to scare you. Tackles are probably one of the worst in the league between, I think he is a rookie. 59 pass block and 65 run block is one of your better tackles. So, obviously it's still preseason, so maybe something can be done there, but I don't see how they're going to score enough.
Well, they just have to build for the future, I think, is probably the main thing here.
And hope quarterback running gets fixed. 23.
Yeah, not every team can compete every year, and his passing numbers aren't bad. Besides the accuracy. Yeah,
I think it's, to me, tackles and the accuracy of the quarterback is going to be a rough combo. But and they don't really have any running backs that's going to scare you. So we'll see though.
Well, next version of the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be scary. Him and Ravens. I thank God the Ravens don't have Lamar Jackson running all over the place because that team's already scary. But yeah, we'll see if they fix it. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of like the Washington. They have a really good D line, which with Fletcher Cox and some good D ends, and so definitely some good pieces there. They can figure out the offense. Maybe another off season.
Yeah, some of their talent's a little old, but yeah.
Go ahead and go on to the NFC North. So you were not so high on yourself. You 8-9, but everyone else, you were overwhelming favorites. So let's go ahead and we'll jump right into Vikings if you want.
Well,
What
I
do you
would have
think
given
about that?
myself
Those votes?
I would have given myself a lower record, but I had to pay in the Packers.
Yeah.
That's just because I'm a homer. The Packers will probably do better than that. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of interesting factors here. I think the Bears are the best team. I think that the Bears should win the division. I'm obviously not crazy on the Packers, and I don't trust myself as a Vikings fan to win anything. So I imagine that I will crap the bed.
No, I understand that. I didn't pick myself either, so it's always hard to pick yourself. It's an interesting division though, because I think the Packers obviously got Rodgers. The Bears have some weapons. I wasn't as high on them as you, but they're far from bad. That's for sure. From their 19th and 17th, you got Rodgers, you got and then you got Stewart, who you know is going to put up some wins. So it doesn't really reflect it in the voting from the league standpoint, but I think this is one of the kind of the more hard to predict divisions. I don't see it going one way or the other for sure. But so what do you think about your team as far as the grades I gave you? Anything stand out as missing the target, or
Well, I think you're kind of hard on my wide receivers.
let's go take a look.
I mean, I've got Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. That's not so bad.
Yeah, I don't know what. I'll have to double check that. I know obviously those Justin Jefferson. Obviously he has good speed in hands, and
He's got 90 agility now
oh, he does.
after training camp. Yeah.
There's I think that's one thing though you'll see. There's probably more so than if you look at tackle position or DM position. Wide receiver is one of the deeper positions in this league. So I think there's a lot of teams that you'll see kind of a D grade. And it's not so much they have bad wide receivers, it's just someone had to get a D type of thing.
I just don't see my wide receivers as being a handicap, and I kind of feel like maybe the D grade is suggesting that it's going to hold the team back.
No, it's more of a. I mean, they probably should be higher, but like I said, there's so many good receiver tandems in this league that I think it's more just a component of where the league is depth wise. But they're definitely not a D. They're not going to hinder you at all.
Well, I might have just misunderstood the grade system a little. If it's on like a bell curve, I can see the D for sure. I just think
no, it's definitely a bell curve. So or it's so like if you're ranked 22nd in the league, it doesn't really matter what there's going to be the same number of D's for every position, regardless of the talent level. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. There's too much to say about my team. It's kind of balanced, and there's a lot of really old players on it. And Kirk Cousins is going to throw 50 interceptions.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised you. I couldn't really get a sense of what direction you might go with this team when the league started. Whether you just kind of go ride the talent it has, or kind of tear it down, or you kind of have some weird collection of young talent and old talent. So
I do.
You're just going to kind of figure it out as you go.
I tried to get Bridgewater, and then when I couldn't get Bridgewater, I just decided to keep everyone. Is more or less what happened. I was maybe going to draft a QB, but then that didn't really seem like it was going to happen either. So I just decided to see if I could beat up on the NFC for 1 year before everyone retires.
Go all in before Stewart takes over.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to regret this. I think Packers. I think the Bears are probably more well balanced, but Packers got killed in my defensive rankings a lot because of cornerback. We'll get into that, but they have Aaron Rodgers, so can't be too bad, I guess. I feel like it's hard to predict an Aaron Rodgers with this O-line. Much worse than 9 wins, but we'll see.
Their wide receivers are not good.
I know.
That is why I had them tanked, because you have all that. You have Rodgers, but what else on offense?
Yeah, I mean, he's like the only kind of half decent looking one.
Yeah, you have Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Jones, this O-line is going to be really good, and Aaron Rodgers. So everything else but the wide receivers and tight ends But yeah, this is gonna be, and cornerbacks are the other. I mean, just they're not terrible. They're not like gonna kill you, but they don't scare you on defense.
Well, yeah, the defense is fine, other than the lack of CVs, which are, I think everyone would agree, are the most important part of the defense in this game, at least in
Yeah, I
the
mean, if
current
there's
version.
good news though, I mean, I think if they can just get a wide receiver, I think that can really jump up their season outlook. It doesn't
Oh
have to
yeah,
be new. And then, like we just talked about, there's a lot of teams probably with an extra wide receiver, so maybe a deal will be made there somewhere.
yeah, that would definitely change how I'd view the season outlook. And Harold Reed, I think, actually looks better, a lot better than his overall is. But I don't know what happens when you have a little.
42, yeah, 42 position skill. I think it's hard. I'm not a huge position skill guy as far as like as long as it's good enough, but I would imagine that's going to penalize him some.
Yeah, but on paper, he looks like he could easily develop into a pretty functional wide receiver soon. So
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely play him. Can't do. I mean, I'd take my chances with him than some of the other ones they have. Last or no, we got two more teams. So we got the Bears. You obviously, I think you had them making the win the division. I really like them. It's not a knock on them. I think it's just I'm pretty high on the Vikings and Aaron Rodgers effect going on there, and I think they're going to be a good third place team, 8-9. I think that, like I said, I think um, they easily could get a wild card spot, even if they do finish third in the division.
yeah, I like the Bears a lot. They have a really balanced offense compared to a lot of teams in the league. I don't think Justin Fields will be fine. I'm a little bit worried about their tackle position. I think their tackle position is, yeah, that's room for concern.
Yeah, 65 pass blocking from Jenkins, and I'm pretty big on tackles being pretty important for offenses, so I know that probably hurt their ranking
Yeah,
on my end. But I love Justin Fields. I think he's gonna. I mean, he looks like one of the better young quarterbacks in the game in the league right now. He's gonna be a lot of fun. Not for me because I don't have him, but I think he's gonna be a lot of fun for the Bears.
their defense looks really good. They have, I mean, yeah, the defense looks more than capable of being above league average.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of right where I had them. I think they're going to be kind of 8 wins, 17 defense, 19 offense, and um, win some close games. They could easily get to 10 wins.
I think that it's possible that's what will be required to win this division is like 10, 11 wins.
You're probably right.
Also, take
And
a look at their schedule for a second. They do have some tough games. I mean, they do play the 49ers, which is no fun. But, they get to play the Seahawks, which I think will be a very winnable game. Play the
let's
Jets.
start up. Are you saying their schedule is pretty easy, or
Yeah, I think they have a lot of winnable games. I think they have to do, average in the division, and
yeah, they don't
they
really
don't
have
have,
any like tough runs. Like they don't really have like 3 or 4 games that are just gonna kill them. So I think they definitely have a manageable schedule.
I think, yeah, manageable is I don't think it's an easy schedule. I think they can win the division with it.
Yeah, and there's no doubt it's a winnable division. Um, and speaking of winnable division, I would not be shocked at all if the Lions win it. I think they probably one of the top two last place, fourth place predicted teams out there. If in my predictions, I have them in 8 wins. I don't know if they'll get there. That's pretty tough for a fourth place team to do, but their roster is obviously limited. This is more than a 1 year rebuild, but we're Stewart kind of calling the plays. I know he'll get the most out of whatever's going on here.
Who's the quarterback for you if you're running the Lions this year?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they're all kind of very similar. Arms pretty close, accuracy's pretty close, and then, I mean, I mean, I'd probably go with this guy. I think.
David Blau, is that who you have pulled up?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's got 84 intelligence and game manager tag, so I think he can at least not lose you games.
Yep.
And he's younger and 27. Maybe I don't think he's really a future, but Cam Newton's 33 and probably gone next year type of thing. So
Yep. They have good running backs, and their offensive line is okay.
yeah, DeAndre Swift is going to be 86 speed, 23 years old. He could be 90 speed soon, 76 hands, 100 work ethic. He's going to be a huge piece. They have some good young tackles. I mean, they have a lot to work with. It's just quarterback. They don't. It's not like they really make up with it on offense and other places. So, and their defenses has some pretty big holes as well. So
They have some interesting wide receivers. They have two wide receivers who are incredibly fast and agile, but have no hands.
I remember they drafted some guys, but I mean, this 60 hands, 37 position skill, but he can run, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if Stewart tries to utilize them in some way, or if he just waits to see if their hands improve.
They have a really good defensive line, though. Derek Brown, Trey Flowers, and this guy, Romero, Kawara, all 88 overall plus. They're also a little bit older, though, other than Brown.
Yeah, their linebackers look rough.
Yeah, that was the one that I think had the lowest grade. D, and safeties had F.
Even with Carl Joseph there?
Yeah.
Because he's slow.
Yeah, I think that probably hurt him. I would imagine that probably hurt him in the adjusted formula, which I run. I also do take a look at intangibles. So in my for some background in my grades, it's a formula essentially, but it does look at size, intangibles, pretty much everything you can think of. So I don't know what hurt him, but yeah, not a big fan of the safeties.
Well, if the Lions have enough there to win the division, then I probably will never win the division. So I'm going to go ahead and hope the Lions don't win the division.
Man, that would be insane if they do.
It's possible with Stewart there. It wouldn't shock me, but I would be very sad.
I predict them 8 wins and you 10 wins. So it's not like for a first and fourth place prediction, they're not far off.
That's very comforting.
NFC South is next, man. The Panthers, Saints.
And you were kind of down on the Panthers.
Yeah, their defense didn't come out very strong, but I mean, I know they have a proven GM. They now have a rookie quarterback that legit might be a top 5 quarterback in the league. And that's not even exaggerating. I think I actually will have some QB rankings to be posted soon. I think he might be 6th or so, which is insane for a rookie. I think they're going to win this division. I think the league thinks they're going to win the division. You obviously think they are at 14 wins. So the rest of the division is just kind of the Falcons had an amazing draft. I think they're headed in the right direction, but they also had a pretty terrible roster to start out with. They'll need time. And Saints and Bucks are just kind of existing. I don't really know what direction they're going. Obviously, some quarterback question marks, but we'll get into that.
They're tough teams to take. It's a challenge.
Yeah. Panthers, I mean, really the story of their offseason. They didn't do a whole lot. Had a number of departures on defense from Derek Brown to Reddick on the D line. But pretty good offseason when you add a quarterback like Stanley. I don't think you really need too much explanation there.
They have all the tools except maybe offensive line deficiencies, but that's kind of Tosti's MO.
I mean, they have a good tackle in Moden, but I mean, some good wide receivers. DJ Moore. I mean, I think their offense will be good. I mean, I have a top 10 projection. I just don't. Their D-line, I think, just got killed with 62, 76. I'm going to make sure I'm actually looking at everyone. But
I mean,
I mean, they have like no defensive line at all, hardly.
I think he's going to move Morgan Fox to defensive end. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, even then though, that's not yet know how many defensive tackles. So, I mean, that's their only 70+ defensive tackle, other than this Roy, who's 73.
Yeah, but if you're going to have a position on your defense that you just dump, it's going to be DT, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Morgan Fox at the end's really making their D line strong. I think it's might be the move, but it's not. I don't think it changed my ranking that much.
I mean, I'm not saying it makes them great, but I think, with the other pieces they have, they could probably figure it out.
Yeah, and their safeties don't really have a whole lot of strong safety. Okay, free safety, and I mean overall, I just don't. I think this defense is going to be limited, but obviously experienced GM, so I think they'll be fine. I think they'll just from a GM standpoint, they'll do better than 27th, I'm sure. But from a roster standpoint, they're pretty limited on defense, I think. I mean, the D line's weak, and I don't think they have star power elsewhere to really make up for it.
They have Shaq Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, they do have him.
That's about it.
He looks really good, too. 91 tackle. He's going to be.
Well, and of course, Dante Jackson, who we didn't talk about at all, even though he's a 90 overall CB.
Yeah. 91 speed, 98 agility. And yeah, their CB is ranked 12 for me, so that was about the only thing. CBs and, safeties and D-line just killed their ranking. But they do have one of the fastest secondaries in the league. So, yeah, offense, but a weak division, I think, so.
Yeah, which is going to help their record, right?
Yeah, I think they'll probably get more 9 wins, but, when you have a quarterback in a weak division, I think they're in a good spot. The rest of the division is kind of tough for me. I think they're all kind of a lot of unknowns. D grade, Buccaneers have an F grade, and Falcons have the rookie quarterback. So I think it's kind of the Carolina. If Carolina didn't get that quarterback in the first round, this division would have been clearly the worst quarterback division in the league, no doubt. They still might be.
After the Panthers, it's going to be, I think, down to GM play as to who's number 2 here.
I definitely agree. I think I think both these rosters are just terrible at quarterback, have a little bit going for them, but a lot of weaknesses. The Saints at the very least should be able to run the ball. They got an A grade and run play talent on the roster. Obviously, they got Kamara and one of the better O-lines, so I guess they do have something going for them for sure in that regard.
And it actually matches up well with the Panthers, so
yeah,
maybe they'll surprise Carolina.
They definitely could. Their defense isn't terrible. Just kind of, we'll see. That'd be a fun little matchup. See if they just run it nonstop versus Carolina's D line. See what happens.
That would be a moment to remember. I think I'd have to save the highlight of that. What do their corners look like though? Do you think that their CB room can hang with the Panthers?
Marcus Lattimore. I don't think their quarterback room is bad by any means. I think it's pretty average.
Lattimore's
C+, good. So yeah. They're not going to scare anyone, but I think their cornerbacks aren't their issue. I really think it just comes down to receivers and quarterback more than anything. It's going to hold this team back.
I think this team is going to be a Panthers killer.
Yeah. I didn't factor that in, but you have a good point. We'll see. It's going to be easy to game plan against this team. You just stop the run, but hey, maybe they'll go heavy run and still beat you with it, even though it's coming type thing.
Hey, if you're the Panthers and you have no defensive line and one good linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah, these tackles are 88 and 90 overall. These tackles are going to kill that Carolina DNs all day, but no quarterbacks, so Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers, I honestly don't even know what they got going on at quarterback off the top of my head. Okay, they have Marcus Mariota. That's right. I forgot about that. I think they're in a little bit of panic mode with that move. They had nobody, and he is at least half decent. So But yeah, I mean, when you look at other quarterbacks in the league, he's pretty clearly one of the worst starters.
Man, he's only got 53 position skill.
Yeah, and it's not like he makes it up a ton with this.
No, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Jacobs, I think, is a good pickup here. 24 years old. He'll be good. 79 strength. So he is injury prone though, but we'll see how much that matters. I mean,
their offensive line isn't stellar either. I mean, they have
elite tackle
Tristan Wirfs.
23 years. Yeah, but the rest of it, yeah. I mean, he's amazing at 23, 95 overall. But the rest of it leaves a lot to be desired. They have amazing wide receivers.
Yeah, but
no quarterback.
Yeah, I think maybe this is one of these things where maybe they want to make a deal with the Packers. I mean, don't do that. I don't want that. But
you really want to throw out ideas like that?
It seems like maybe they could help each other, but I don't know.
It's actually kind of funny you said it. Not only does the Packers also have 2 quarterbacks that are good, so that makes a lot of sense. But I mean, that's insane. 3 wide receivers are 90 overall, and I still don't think they're going to rank in the top 20 in passing.
Not with that quarterback situation, and they have some interesting depth players at wide receiver too. I mean, John Franklin III doesn't actually look terrible. I mean, he'd be a wide receiver 3 on some teams, I think.
And they have I love their linebackers too with Devin White. I mean, this is like a Chiefs dream. Levante David, Devin White, 87, 90 speed. Linebacker, but I mean, I think their defense is going to be good. I think they're going to be fine, but I mean, really everything about this team is good other than quarterback. No, if they had a good quarterback, I think they'd be a legit 10-win team.
Yeah, it's possible. Their CVs aren't crazy good, but
no,
fine. They need some more warm bodies and safety. I think they have no depth in the safety position at all. I guess maybe some of their CVs can do that for them.
No, they didn't get a quarterback in, but they definitely put some weapons around them, getting Galladay and Jacobs in the offseason.
Yeah, it's an interesting team because it really just does seem like it's missing that one piece.
Yeah, the last Falcons, we talked about them a lot in the draft podcast. Kind of the story their offseason was rebuild, draft. Amazing. I mean, they're in the right direction. I mean, we talked about them already. Some huge picks in the draft, but just need time. There's not really anything else to say.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just they need probably one more season. And if it's half as good as this last offseason, it probably won't be more than one.
Yeah, their secondary was pretty concerning, I think. And then obviously they got that quarterback that we talked about who looks amazing for a late first round pick. They have some talent on offense. I think their secondary is just pretty average at best. And then their whole defense is just pretty weak. Really no DNs that are going to scare you. They have a first round pick in Pickard, but they'll need time. Then any other thoughts on the NFC South?
Oh, no, I think it's time to move on. Talk about these 49ers here in a second, right?
Yes, NFC West. We can go back to the predictions. We were right on 13-4. Look at that. We matched finally. We didn't hit on many other matches, but got that one pretty close on the Rams, Cardinals, another match on the Cardinals, and
Saints and Lions.
Again, yeah. You killed the Seahawks at 2 wins. I don't know if you did yours before the quarterback move with Cincinnati or not Cincinnati, the Browns.
Yeah.
I don't know if yours was pre or post trade. Mine was post trade. That bumped them up.
Yeah, I did not factor that in. But I'm still not too unhappy about it.
No, I think their quarterbacks were dreadful. And I still don't love the roster, but at least I bumped them up a few wins with that move just because how bad their quarterback was, even though I'm not big on their quarterback now. But league predictions, 49ers, not a surprise. Kind of, I think the Rams have a really good roster. I think the Cardinals are going to be good, but anybody that knows Yeti knows that he knows what he's doing. So I think that's a GM vote right there.
Yeah,
And I mean, it's a roster vote too, though. I mean, they have a really good roster, but I think some of the other teams are not that far behind.
they're my I think favorite odds on for the Super Bowl for the NFC.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in just a second because they had some support in the league voting there as well. But let's talk some 49ers. I think they're kind of up there with the Cowboys, I think, and the Titans as far as roster. You can obviously see by my 4th offensive ranking, 6th defensive ranking. I don't think there's probably, other than the Cowboys and Titans, might be the only 2 teams that can challenge that. Maybe Chargers, but I know they spend a lot of time on their cornerbacks their quarterback group. That's kind of really the only question mark. They have a young quarterback, but I think he'll be enough.
Yeah, I know that Eddie mentioned in the chat that he had some positive tests with Trey Lance, so I think that I don't think it'll be an issue. I think their quarterbacks are good enough.
Yeah, I mean, they had a ton of additions. Tyrann Mathieu in the secondary. They got a good running back. They got another cornerback in Jason McCourty. And their secondary was terrible when the offseason started. So they put a lot of time in there. I mean, they added a lot of players, so they had a really good offseason. I know they had a couple draft picks I like, so they should be really good.
Yeah, I think McCourty's a little slow. I'm curious to see how exactly they use their CVs, but they definitely have a lot of options.
Yeah, I think that he was a cheap signing pretty late, if I want to say.
Yeah, 3.1 million. I think he's probably going to be playing nickel.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know what the plan is there. I mean, their cornerbacks aren't terrible. Maybe a little rough on the F grade, but
Well,
they
I
don't
don't
really have
see who.
anybody that's.
Yeah,
They're
I don't
just
see
really
who.
kind of young and fast.
Yep. I mean, Jeffrey Valentine is a 32 intelligence, 26 tackling. I mean, that's basically not usable. Maybe I'm
No, I
wrong,
mean,
but
no, I mean they're clearly. I mean, their cornerback group was. I think Jason McCourty was kind of a. I know he's not fast, but compared to what they have, I think he's going to be a big pickup.
that they only have 3 linebackers listed on the roster, so obviously I'm missing something here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They have 3 strong safeties, and one's 254 pounds. So, yeah, I think Alfred Jenkins is essentially. Well, he's 56 tackles, so I don't know. I mean, he definitely can play linebacker as far as position skill, but that tackle rating is pretty worrisome. I'm sure. I mean, at the very least, he can be emergency linebacker, though.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that he has some creative ideas for the defense, and it'll be fine. But it'll be fun to follow.
I mean, the defense has some major question marks at cornerback, and that could be what holds them back from a Super Bowl. But I mean, just insane star power. Fred Warner, 25-year-old, 92 overall. Nick Bosa, 96 overall, 24 years old. I mean, this defense is going to be insane now and in the future.
There's definitely a lot to build around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scared for this team now, but I mean, you take those star players on defense, take another offseason to get a cornerback, and then their quarterback and Trey Lance just develops more. This team's going to be insane.
Yep.
Talk about them Rams. I think obviously they have insane talent on defense. I think everyone kind of knows their stars. The O-line grade got killed. Take a look at there. I mean, this team's got so many stars. Stafford's not quite what he used to be, but he's still really good. If you look at, I mean, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, both 100 overall. Cooper Kupp. I mean, this team has some big time stars, but it's a pretty big drop off after that.
Yeah, that is. I think I think I talked a little bit about depth of the Patriots, but I think this is the really critical depth team.
Yeah, I mean, no guards really. Uh, Tackles, really just no depth at all at tackle, and ones they have aren't amazing.
No, I mean there's
All right.
not depth anywhere, is there?
I mean, really, no. I mean, this is really a classic case of star power and see how far that can carry you. We'll see.
That's kind of the
I mean, that,
situation the team was in, though.
yeah. I mean, they have some big paychecks, and um, I mean, they have talent at positions you want talent at. I mean, they have a star DN, star quarterback, star receiver. So they're going to win a lot of games. I think they're going to have some limitations, especially in a division like this. Um, I predict them 10 wins, so I think they're going to get a wild card. Some of that also is just somebody has to get a wild card in the NFC, and I don't know who it is. So
Yeah, it could be them. All right, Cardinals.
next, yeah, another bad O line, some star power on defense, and I think they got a good offense. I think they got a good team. Um,
They have a good quarterback.
I was kind of high on the Rams a little more than you maybe, but I mean, with the Rams and 49ers, 4 games against them, I think they're going to have some tough games.
It's a tough division. I think the 49ers are going to probably come out ahead on both games on the Cardinals and the Rams, but I don't know about the Rams Cardinals series.
Yeah, I mean their tackles, and I don't know what they're going to do the second tackle spot. I think that was what really killed them in the ranking as far as the offensive line. They have 2 tackles on the roster, and one's Josh Jones with 48 position skill.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a couple of good tackles. They still got 13 million. I don't know what they're going to. I mean, I don't think there's much in the free agency, but maybe if they do a trade or two, I think there's. I mean, they have to get another tackle. I would assume.
I'm really worried about the cornerbacks. I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
that's my biggest concern for the team after tackle. They have slow guys who can do pretty much everything else, and then they have guys with a little more speed, but that are missing other important pieces. They don't really have
so,
any complete CVs.
no. I mean, Daniel Tice was a decent draft, but yeah, I mean, they have 2 cornerbacks that. I think they have 1 cornerback that's actually playable. I think he's the only quarterback that's playable that has 80 plus speed.
Yep, I think that's the case. They have some slot guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just a couple of holes away. I mean, they get a tackle and a cornerback. They could still, I mean, they have some star power on a defense line with Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt. I mean, they're obviously old, but looking at this year, and Chris Jones on D tackle. They had one of the best D lines. And Buda Baker. So they have star power on defense, but and some star power on offense. They're kind of very much like the Rams in some ways. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, there's still time in the offseason to iron out some of those details. So they could, a couple right moves and they'll be fine. Last Seahawks 6-11. They got their quarterback that not a huge fan of, but compared to what they had, it's should be a good move. I think he's not on the roster right now, but I did factor it into my grades as far as adjusted at the last minute. But I mean, I think they're going to go James Gobble, the 3rd-round pick with 59 intelligence, or just the manual 65 accuracy. Either way, they definitely got a big upgraded quarterback,
which was not factored into my 2-15, but still, I'm not high on the team.
I mean, those Cardinals, Rams, and 49ers, it's going to be, I mean, they'll be lucky to get 1-5, I think, even with the quarterback.
Yeah, it's one of the toughest divisions in the league. And even with it's Mayfield they got, right?
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, even with Mayfield, I don't see them really putting together much of an offense.
take a look at him. I'll have to go to the Browns.
Their wide receivers are really good.
Yeah, I mean, he just has no intangibles and 71 intelligence. I mean, I think he's a huge upgrade, obviously. That's a given, but I don't think he's going to be anything that's going to really change the outlook as far as division ranking.
It's kind of the price that you pay for making that Russell Wilson trade and making the Titans a juggernaut.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're gonna be hurting without Wilson. I don't know if they would have done anything with him, but that's a tough loss.
Well, they got good compensation for the trade, but it has an effect on your team.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the roster is okay. It's just kind of.
And once again, they have CVs that I think are a little slow, or maybe not quite up to snuff, which is going to be tough if you have struggled on offense too.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the trend you see around the league is there's not as much defensive back talent, so the teams that have it are in a good spot, and the teams that don't are going to be a little bit of a weakness for sure.
Yeah, they do have really good safeties, though.
180 plus speed, Trey Flowers, and he's only 75 agility, so and 54 position skill. So yeah, not much going on defense.
But maybe we'll see GMs come up with some interesting ways to play CBs with lower speed, and it won't be the issue that it seems like it might be.
Yeah, definitely. Any thoughts on the NFC? Go back to the NFC as a whole. Who do you have? Who's your winner? Is it?
It's between the Cowboys and 49ers. I think I give the 49ers the edge in the playoffs, but on paper, the Cowboys are probably the better team.
Yeah, I'm going to look at something real quick. So in my predictions, I had 49ers losing in the Super Bowl to the Titans. I think they're going to, for the Cowboys, I think it'll come down to the Cowboys and 49ers in the playoffs, I would imagine. But I was going to go over the predictions from the questionnaire. Let's see who is NFC favorite to be in the Super Bowl. And I'm just trying to calculate so I think it was actually the Cowboys that were the favorite.
It's probably close, though. I mean,
no, it was actually I was missing one vote. It was actually a tie.
So really?
49ers and Cowboys both tied in votes. Hey, I don't know if you voted for yourself, but Vikings got a vote, so there's that.
I did not vote for myself. I never voted for the Vikings in a Super Bowl situation.
So 49ers and the Cowboys both got 4 votes. The Rams got 2 votes, and a number of teams got 1 vote. And the Super Bowl favorites, the 1, 2. It's very, very interesting. The 49ers were the favorites to win the Super Bowl.
Even though they were in a tie to get there, huh?
Yeah, the only 1 vote for the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. So 4 people thought they were going to get there, but only 1 person actually thought they were going to win it. Whereas almost everyone that voted for the 49ers also thought they were going to win the Super Bowl.
That is interesting. Well, hopefully the Cowboys prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, so the 49ers had twice as many Super Bowl winning votes as any other team.
Well, I'm sure that Yeti's ears are burning right now.
Hey, look at that. You got 1 Super Bowl vote too, so someone thinks you're going to win the Super Bowl.
Somebody thinks I'm going to win the Super Bowl?
That was their vote.
I didn't think that we allowed people who use drugs in this league.
We also had a Cardinals, Cowboys, obviously, Dolphins vote. No love for the Broncos, though. So there's that.
Oh, your Super Bowl odds are better than mine.
Not according to this. I'm sure I got just killed by the Titans. Nobody had me getting past the Titans.
Well, that seems fair. It's kind
Yeah.
of like getting past the speed of light.
So what was your Super Bowl prediction? You probably said it. You had the for the whole league.
I'm pretty sure that I have the Titans winning. I mean, I have the Titans winning. As far as the NFC goes, I think I share the league sentiments that it's essentially a tie between the Cowboys and the 49ers. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know
when you
who.
get into a playoff game like that, I guess you go with GM experience, which is why the 49ers are up there winning it.
Yeah, it should be fun though. I think Cowboys, 49ers, and Titans, I think, are going to be clear favorites just based on talent and GM. Like, what I'm aware of as far as GM experience. I know there's some newer GMs I'm not too familiar with, so I'm sure there could be some big surprises.
I hope so. I want to see a crazy team win. I want to see the Chiefs win. That's what I want because they have the craziest team in the league.
Yeah, well, they're in my division, so I hope they don't figure it out because I have enough problems. Even if they don't get rolling, if they do get rolling, that division is just going to be insane.
Yeah, my dream Super Bowl would be Chiefs Bears. I think.
Man, I could see the Bears doing it. I think I'm a little low on their 8-9. They're really good, so we'll see. Any closing thoughts?
Oh, I just gave my preferred Super Bowl and what I think.
You have any closing thoughts?
Oh no! What about you?
No, I think it'll be fun. Excited to get the season started, and then I don't have anything else to add though. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Wednesday. I don't know when this will be posted, but right around the corner we'll be there, and then that's when the real fun starts. When actual games get simmed.
It should be a great time.
I don't know what we have planned next as far as podcasts, but I'm sure we'll get something going when we have games going, and tune back then.